Hello, everybody. This is Boji here, your local Bay Area real estate agent. Welcome back to my channel. Um, right now is the beginning of 2025, and I want to make this video to share with you how the U.S. real estate market is doing, and also what are the three coldest markets right now in the US, and what are the three hottest markets in the US, as well as a few other markets that I came across in the last couple of weeks of research that are hot, even though may not be the hottest, but they really surprised me because they are a hot market. And why do I feel it's a good idea to share these kind of informations right now? Well, that's because now is the beginning of 2025, and a lot of you might be wondering how is your market doing, and also a lot of you might be considering investing in real estate, but just may not be in the Bay Area or Seattle because it's so expensive. But you might be looking into some other cities where prices are more affordable, but you may not even know where to start because this country is so big. And I want to make this video to not only share with you how these cities are doing, but also, hey, some of these cities might give you some inspirations for you to look into. So, and another question is, hey, Boji, you're just a real estate agent here in the Bay Area, and I've seen all your past videos talking about Bay Area market, and you know Bay Area market well, but how do you know how these other cities, other states are doing? What data are you getting those from? Well, that's true. In the Bay Area, I have access to hyper local data down to the zip codes, down to the cities and the streets. And but nationwide, I'm just as like you. I go on to Redfin, I go on to Zillow, I look at nationwide data at the city level and the county level, and that's the furthest that I can go. But I still analyze and see a trend in some of these major cities. And I see that some cities are doing really well and some cities are not doing so well, even though the national trend right now is high interest rate, high home prices. And why is that? Well, that's what we're gonna dive in this video. So I'm gonna start with the three cities that I found they're the coldest, meaning that the homes are sitting on the market longer, more inventory, and less buyers. And then I'm gonna go into the three that are the hottest, and then we're gonna go with the rest. So let's start. All right. So right now we're looking at the Redfin's website, and we're looking at the data that they provided from the last 12 months of how the nationwide real estate market is doing. So what we're looking at right now is, let's first start looking at the U.S. median sale price, which is $430,000, and that is a slight increase from $412,000 just about 12 months ago or 11 months ago. So that's a little bit of an increase, 4%, 5%. But if we just focus on the increased price, these are trailing indicators because we do know that homes take 30 days, 45 days, 60 days to close. So the $43,000 price, it's reflecting the buyers, consumers' behavior that they made about 2 months ago, maybe down in September or October or even in August. So that does not reflect how the market temperature is right now. So in order to do that, so that what going forward the sell price will be, what you want to look at is number one, the days on market. This stats obviously by its name measures how long does it take for a property to sell to go from active to pending, and currently the national average is 43 days, which is a slight decrease from the beginning of last year at 48, but it's a significant increase from last year's summer of 32, which means homes are taking a little longer to sell. It could be due to seasonality. So that's data one. Data two is months supply. Month supply, some of you probably already know what that means. If you don't, I'll just go over that briefly. What that means is that take all of the properties that are currently for sale right now on the market, and assuming that no more new homes are going to be on the market for sale. So based on the current days on market, how long would it take for all of these homes to be sold? And that's called months inventory. And the national average is 3.1 months, which is a slight increase from the beginning of last year's 3 months, and is significantly increased from 2.4 months, the lowest of last year's national average. And people talk about sellers market, buyers market. Right now, the 3.1% means the market is more like a neutral market. A seller's market is, in my opinion, anything less than 2 months. From 0 to 2, like in the pandemic, we're looking at like 0.5, zero point 0.8. Those are extreme sellers market. Anything that's more than, let's say, 6 months or 5 months or beyond, that becomes a buyer's market. So during 2008, during the credit crunch, subprime mortgage foreclosure wave, a lot of these data are like 22 months, 18 months, definitely more than 10 months. So in short, the less this number is, the hotter the market is. The higher this number goes, the cooler the market is. So this is the national average. And high rate, high price, low affordability, low inventory, that sets the basic overall environment. With that, let's look into the three market that I found are the coolest or the coldest right now. And the first one is Miami, Florida. So this is a graph of Miami, Florida. So the blue line is Miami's months of supply, which is currently at 9.4 months, making it definitely in the territories of buyer's market. And the days on market means it takes Miami homes average 77 days to sell. So that is definitely a buyer's market. It's twice or three times that of the national average, like in this case, the month's supply. So Miami, Florida is definitely a buyer's market and it's very cold. And the second city, you might be surprised, it's Austin, Texas. So check it out. And so the light blue line is Austin, Texas, which is not that bad, but it's still 4.8 months compared to national average 3.1 months, which makes Austin, Texas still somewhat of a neutral market, but more slightly leaning towards buyers markets, the side. But let's take a look at days on market. Now, this is interesting. Homes takes about 76 days to sell in Miami metro area, in Austin, Texas metro area. So it's just as slow as the Miami's market, which makes it definitely is far cry from how hot Austin's market was during the pandemic. And another interesting metrics that you can look at is price drop, which is how many homes have they're currently for sale have experienced a price drop. And in this case, Austin, Texas is way ahead of national average in Miami, meaning that currently 33% of the active listings have dropped their price in Austin, Texas. So last but not least, the last cold market is a city where a lot of people will think of when they want to go on a vacation. It's called Honolulu, Hawaii. So look at this gray line. That's Honolulu, Hawaii right here. So property takes about 80 days to sell. So it's slightly longer than both Austin and Miami. And months supply in Honolulu is significantly higher than Austin's. It's from 4.8 months to 6.2 months. It is still significantly lower than Miami, but it's definitely in a buyer's market. So again, Austin, Texas, Miami, Florida, and Honolulu, Hawaii are the three coldest market. Having said that, let's take a look at the three hottest market right now in the US. And the first one, needless to say, is the Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area. Now, for simplicity, I'm just going to take Santa Clara County, for instance. San Mateo County in reality is probably just as hot. If you live in the Bay Area, you know. So this light blue line is Santa Clara County. If we're looking at months supply, it's only 1 month. So it's still an extreme seller's market as of now. And the days on market shows that Santa Clara County's home takes about 20 days to sell. So definitely still a seller's market right now. And while we're on Santa Clara County, which is the Silicon Valley, let's just also take a look at how San Francisco is doing, because people talk about San Francisco all the time, and San Francisco is on the news all the time. So days on market for San Francisco is 26 days, which is not bad, not much different from Santa Clara County. And the month's supply of San Francisco is 1.9 months. So it is still significantly below the national's average. And so this makes San Francisco just as hot or in demand as the Santa Clara County. It's an extreme seller's market. We're not looking at the price right now because price is honestly irrelevant, you know, of a discussion right now. Obviously, San Francisco and Santa Clara are 1.4 million, 1.5 million, and Miami would be like 600,000. That would be completely different. So let me just get rid of San Francisco because I don't want to put too many lines on this graph. People get dizzy looking at it. But basically, Bay Area is the hottest. And the second hottest market right now is Seattle, Washington. So if you look at Seattle's month supply, it's 1.5 months, where Santa Clara County is 1 month. Honestly, that's just 2 weeks of a difference of 2 weeks. And days on market, it's literally the same, just 2 days difference. That makes Seattle and Bay Area about the same temperature. And the third market is, you might be surprised on this one, it's called Anchorage, Alaska. Now, take a look at this black line. That is Anchorage, Alaska's days on market, which is 27 days. That is just 1 day more than San Francisco's 26 days on market. And the month's supply of Anchorage, Alaska is only 1.9 months. So right here, a lot of you guys might be wondering, if you have never lived in Alaska, might be like, so what's up with Alaska? Who goes there? It's so cold, and the king crab there are just as expensive. And why is Alaska such a hot place? Well, for those of you that may not realize, Alaska itself, if you look at the map, is right around North Pole. It's literally the center of the northern hemisphere. What that means is it makes it a magical location for logistics and military. So you can imagine, if you want to send something from Alaska to most of the industrialized countries, it takes no more than 10 hours. Now, during the peacetime, you can send love letters, packages, or whatnot. And during wartime, you can send missiles and nuclears. Of course, we pray that we'll never have a war. We live in prosperities and peace. But what I'm saying is, because of its strategic location, Alaska, especially Anchorage, attracts major logistic players around the world, such as Amazon, FedEx, UPS, DHLs. They're all having their mega distribution centers, international cargo centers in Alaska. And these are not just some warehouses like in Los Angeles. These are actually the high level cargo centers that attracts a lot of high paying jobs. A lot of pilots are there, a lot of aircraft mechanics are there, the IT, cybersecurity, supply chain management, and Alaska have a lot of high-paying jobs that are related to high level of logistic and industry. That's why Anchorage, Alaska, has always been a major city in the West Coast, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. So, having said that, seeing that they are a hot market, it does not surprise me. And even though Alaska has a lot of land, think about this. Most of these land are, because of the weather, if you want to turn these land into affordable housing or build more homes, it's not as easy as if you do the same in Texas. Because the weather and the shortage of labor there, it makes it a lot more costly. That's why even though there are a lot of lands undeveloped, the housing has always experienced a shortage in Anchorage, Alaska. So, having said that, a lot of you might ask the question like, well, if the national average is, 3.1 month of monthly supply, why are some markets like Miami much colder than markets like San Francisco Bay Area? If we're talking about high interest rate, high prices, and low affordability, that's a nationwide trend. Shouldn't that affect all markets? Well, here's the thing. Real estate, even though follows national trend, it's still a very hyper local, economic results. So you really have to look at what each city's microeconomy is. And the way I look at it, Miami, Florida was a very hot market in the last couple of years, especially during the pandemic. And lots of people, lots of retirees moved there and lots of foreign investors and out-of-state investors purchase in those markets, and they really jacked up the price in Miami, and not just Miami, but all Florida cities, Orlando, Tampa, and the way I look at it, you know, most of the Florida cities have tourism service industry, and like the Disney's in Orlando and stuff, their local incomes do not necessarily support the current home prices, especially now the interest rate is so high, especially now the hurricanes really jacked up the homeowners insurance and all that. So in terms of local affordability, I think Miami is really worse. And plus, they built a lot of homes in the last couple of years to accommodate that trend of in migration. So right now, having a effect on the turn of the economy, I think that's pretty normal. It's for that reason, and similar trends observed in Honolulu. Honolulu is again a place of tourism and stuff, but Honolulu also attract a lot of rich investors or rich people in general that love to vacation in Honolulu. But Honolulu had always been a very unaffordable city, not just recently. It had always been the case because, again, the locals, based on their incomes, can't necessarily afford the high prices. That's why Honolulu is also one of the coldest market right now. Austin, Texas, in my opinion, I mean, their price went from half a million to like I think right now a lot of homes are like $1 million homes. It used to be like, $1 million home used to be like, wow, that's $1 million home. But now it's everywhere. And a lot of people moved there during the pandemic for, cheaper homes and tech jobs and stuff. But one thing about Texas, as we all know, they've got plenty of land and it's easy to build more homes using those land. So the inventory in Texas has not really been, it's still a problem, but not as much of a problem compared to like Bay Area or Seattle. So they have more inventory. And number two, they have higher property tax. Texas average property tax is like 3%. And Austin's I went to Austin a couple of years ago, checked out some real estate, and they're like about 2.7%, 2.8%. So think about that, right? If you own, so now the homes are $1 million. It's pretty common there. So $1 million home in Austin, Texas, you pay almost $30,000 on the property tax, and versus a $2.5 million homes in the Bay Area at 1.2% property tax. It's still cheaper in the Bay Area in terms of property tax. So I believe this hurts the Austin's real estate a little bit. And also the layoffs. Some of these tech companies like Tesla, for example, are going through some big layoffs in Austin. Plus, the oversupply of inventory, all these compounded into Austin, Texas market cooling down. I think that's the reason. And Bay Area, Seattle, on the other hand, like most of the properties, even though they're $3 million, $4 million, they're still afforded by the locals. People working in a tech company, owning Tesla stocks, Nvidia stocks, you name it, can still afford homes in Palo Alto, in Santa Clara, in San Francisco. So, and we have a strong tech industry, even though companies in the Bay Area also go through a lot of layoffs. But remember, big tech companies in the Bay Area also acquire a lot of companies every year. So if you just read the news, yes, we're having layoffs all the time, but a lot of these layoffs are a part of a normal process of acquisition. So, before you read the news about, San Francisco being a ghost town, or, the crimes and the drugs and tech company laying off, everybody's running away from California. If you look at the data, California, especially Bay Area and Seattle, we're still the hottest market right now, even in the world of high interest rate and high home prices. So that just gave you a perspective. So having said that, now let's go through, I was doing these kind of research in the last couple of weeks, and I found a couple of cities that are really interesting. They're just as hot. They may not be the hottest right now, but they are hot market. And, they are really cheap. Their home prices are really cheap. And who knows, they might be the next hot market coming up. So if you're thinking about investing in real estate, you might want to take a look at some of these markets that I came across. And the first one is Baltimore, Maryland. All right, so now I got rid of all these other cities. So we're just looking at the surprising cities that I came across. So Baltimore, let's look at the light blue line, monthly supply 2.1 months. That's a seller's market. Days on market is about 30 days versus the national average of 43 days. So it's not as hot as Bay Area, but it's there. So, for those of you who have been to Baltimore, Baltimore does have a reputation of crimes and stuff, but hey, Baltimore also has a lot of really nice places too. And Baltimore is one of the major harbor in the East Coast. It's got Johns Hopkins University, great healthcare industry there, and because of its proximity to Washington D.C., it's got a lot of IT jobs, defense contracts, cybersecurity contracts. So the city itself still attracts a lot of high-paying jobs, and that's a foundation of a city, and having a booming market. And Baltimore's going through gentrifications. They're cleaning up a lot of the areas and making improvements. And these are all good signs. So if you look at their current medium sale price, it's below the national average. So the starting of last year, they were like 355K. And right now they're 397K. So it's a 40%, no, it's a $40,000 increase. That's more than 10% growth in 1 year. So that's definitely, a higher year over year growth than the national average. So that's the first one. I think that because of their relatively low average home prices, they attract buyers and investors, making it a pretty hot market. And the second market might surprise you too. It's called Detroit, Michigan. So now let's look at the green line. It's Detroit, Michigan's monthly supply is 2.7 months. It's higher than Baltimore, but it's still below national average. And days on market in Detroit takes about 26 days to sell a home. It's the same as San Francisco. And what's even nicer about Detroit is the medium sell price. Look at that. at the beginning, 12 months ago, Detroit's sales price was 160K. And look at right now, it's 192K. So it's a $32,000 increase. So from 160K to 192K, that is over 20% increase in 12 months. That's crazy. And Detroit, as we know, it used to be the third largest city in the country, and it's the motor city. It's got the infrastructures, it's got the big threes, it's got all the other technologies, healthcares, university educations. Yeah, it's got all these infrastructures in place. Detroit, of course, went through a lot of hardship, and the city. That's why the price went down to such a low price. But the city is also making an effort to gentrify and turn things around. As we see improvements, I think the biggest thing that people see when they're considering coming back investing in Detroit is the cheap price, and it's incredibly cheap. And that's one thing that makes Detroit a really hot market right now. And let's take a look at this one, Indianapolis. So here's a light blue line. Indianapolis is right up there with Baltimore in month supply, and days on market is 23 days. That's almost on par with Seattle. That's how fast homes are selling in Indianapolis on average. And if we look at the medium sale price, and Indianapolis is 300. It went from 283K to 300K in the last 1 year. So it's a pretty nice increase, although not as crazy as Detroit, but it's still up there, and it's still much more affordable compared to the nationals average. So Indianapolis is a good one. And the last one that I noticed is Omaha, Nebraska, the home of Warren Buffett. So if you look at the median home price, Omaha, Nebraska is about the same, similar level as Indianapolis. And Omaha, Nebraska's monthly supply is even lower, 1.8 months. It's almost on par with Seattle. That's how little homes are for sale in Omaha. And the days on market there is 24 days, making it a seller's market, just like Seattle and close Bay Area. And, Warren Buffett is in Omaha, and there's some pretty big financial service insurance company like F&G Mutual of Omaha. So, and they've got pretty strong logistics and agriculture industry. And if you look at these four markets, they're all currently pretty hot. One thing you've noticed is that these homes medium sell prices are way below the national average, making it one of the most affordable cities to own a home. And if you are an investor, you're thinking about buying a home and earn positive cash flows. You look at Bay Area, you look at Seattle, there is no positive cash flows unless you buy everything in cash. But if you look at these four cities, you're more than likely, choosing the right location, the right tenant, you're going to have positive cash flows. And I believe this is one of the reasons why it's attracting a lot of, buyers, not just buyers, but investors. It's the relatively low cost of living, affordable home prices, and the fact that the city's improving and is turning things around, and they still have a strong infrastructures and to expand, to improve. So these are the four cities that surprises me. And I think if you're looking to invest something somewhere in 2025, you can start looking at some of these cities. And who knows, you might find your opportunity. So, I just want to make a disclaimer. The information that I share with you is purely information for information purposes. I'm not giving you any investment advice. I'm not telling you to go to Omaha right now or go to Detroit right now. You're going to buy something and you're going to get another 20% next year. That's not what I'm saying. My whole goal of this video is, obviously, this is my first English video of 2025, and you guys have watched me last year, and you guys have liked me, subscribed to me. And I'm continuing to provide values for you, and also, to tell you what's currently going on. We know we're in a special time right now. High price, high rates, low affordability, but and then a lot of negative news, rumors from all over the internet that distorts people's views about certain market. So I want to use this video to help you, clear things up and provide you with some facts and data for you to make the right decision. And also, if you are thinking about, if one of your New Year's resolution is to buy some real estate somewhere this year, but you don't know where to start, maybe start with researching more in one of these cities that are currently really hot and affordable. And if you're looking for an agent or someone who can provide you with reliable local informations, come to me. I got that covered. I've got great agents in a lot of these different cities. And a lot of them are also a fan of my YouTube channel too. So you're welcome to contact me and check things out. And I'll definitely connect you. So with all that said, if you like this video, if you like the information that I'm providing, and if you have questions about real estate or questions about Bay Area real estate in particular, feel free to contact me, and you can email me, you can text me, or whatever. My contact information is down below, and I'll help you out. I'll answer your questions. And if you like this video, I appreciate if you could like and subscribe, and that keeps me motivated to research and provide more valuable content for you later on. With all that said, wish you guys all have a great, prosperous 2025, and I'll see you on the next video.